everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spill the Tea with Tommy D. So this week, as I mentioned last week, I'm going to start off my series of a company called Hackberry Tea. So I just discovered them recently and I wanted to check out some of their teas. So this week we are going to do a mango black tea from Hackberry Tea. And this tea is a Ceylon black tea. So Ceylon black tea is from Sri Lanka. It brews a little bit differently than a Chinese black tea or like the pu'er tea we did because it has a little bit different flavor. It's a little more citrusy, bold, and like brisk. It's one type of black tea that you definitely don't want to oversteep. Some black teas, like the pu'er tea, if you use a little bit too much tea or you let it sit too long, it's just going to taste a little stronger. This is one of those teas. A Ceylon black tea is one of those teas that you want to be a little more diligent with the steep times and the amount of tea you use because it can get a little bitter. Now, in addition, this tea is, like I mentioned, Ceylon black tea. Now it is mixed, it's a flavored black tea. So again, flavored black tea means the flavoring, the pieces are in the actual tea leaves as opposed to a scented tea. And it is a black tea, meaning it is completely oxidized. So smelling it, I can definitely smell, it's just heavy mango pretty much. The ingredients are mango pieces, mostly mango pieces, and I believe marigold. Yes, marigold flowers. So a little hint of floralness at the end, but pretty much just very heavy on the mango pieces. So usually today I've been doing hot teas. It is quite hot outside, so now I'm going to teach you how to do an iced tea. First, this tea is kind of coming to the end of the road, so we're just gonna, boom. So, as I mentioned, I can see the black Ceylon tea leaves, I can see the mango pieces, and the marigold flowers. So before I brew the tea, let's go over brewing iced tea. So pretty much, this is a nice fancy contraption I have. It is a big pitcher that comes with a big strainer that you go on the inside. Now, the reason for this is so that way, when you brew iced tea with loose leaf tea, it's not like that powder nonsense where you're just going to throw it in there and it's going to disappear. I'm sure you all know that. Some people don't. What we're going to do is to make sure, because remember, iced tea, it's going to get watered down, it's going to be mixed with ice, so we need to brew what's referred to as a concentrate. So this is if you want to enjoy it right away. If you're going to brew that, you can brew a regular concentration of the tea, let it sit in the fridge overnight, and then you'll be fine. But if you want to drink it right away, you want to double the concentration. So in here, I have a significant amount of tea. We're going to do about half hot water, so that way it's going to be very concentrated. So when we add a little bit of cold water, we add the ice, we will have the ability to drink it. It'll be at a good concentration. It won't be watered down. One thing actually I forgot to mention, what I like about this mango black tea is as opposed to a lot of flavored teas, they'll use candied fruit pieces. These ones are just dehydrated mangoes. And what I like about that is, for me, I don't like sweet tea. You can always sweeten something, you can't take the sweetness out. So a candied fruit is always a little sweet for me, so this ones are just dehydrated fruit. The other thing I like about the Hackberry Tea is, in addition to sending you the tea, they send you a nice little brewing guide that you can just hang on to, keep it in your cabinet or something, and it gives you all the instructions for black tea, green tea, fruit tisane, which is basically like an herbal tea, regular herbal tea, oolong, rooibos, and white tea. So they pretty much hit all the stops here. I thought that was very useful. Alright, so we have the tea, according to their guide, black tea, 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces of water, boiling water, 3 to 4 minutes. Now this is a 66 ounce container, so I did the math before, so it's pretty much, usually it's 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces, 66 ounces would get about 8 1/4 teaspoons, so we're just going to double that, and it's going to be about 16.5 teaspoons. So I already put about 16.5 teaspoons in there, and let's do it. Let's brew this mango black tea. So as I mentioned, we have 16.5 teaspoons of tea in this big strainer. This one just kind of brews, kind of screws on the top, and then you can just insert it there. So the only thing that I will say is if you don't have one of these fancy pitchers at home, all you really have to do is brew a cup of hot tea, double the concentrate instead. So if you're doing like a 16-ounce mug, you'll just do like 4 teaspoons of tea, brew it for the appropriate time, and then just pour it over ice cubes. And that's how you can do it like 1 cup at a time. But I figured since we're doing a big batch, I'll do it this way. So I'm filling it about halfway because I'm going to add a little bit of hot water, and then obviously, a little bit of cold water, and then obviously I'm going to put it over ice cubes. So this just goes right in here. Most of these tea websites will actually have a pitcher like this too, so you don't have to. Let's get it nice and mixed in there. Actually, I think I need to add just a little bit more hot water. You do want to make sure it's completely submerged. Man, you can see that getting that color in there already. Okay. Oh yeah, that's good. All right, nice and submerged. We're going to do 3 minutes on this guy. And here we go. Cool. All right, so I don't consider myself a very brave person. Like, I don't go on roller coasters, I don't do skydiving. I'm not the biggest fan of haunted houses. But let it be known that on day 1 that they opened, I went to the dentist. Which, while it's probably one of the braver things I've done, it just felt wrong and weird. Because, like, we've been stuck in quarantine for months. I wasn't able to go 6 feet from people. Now I'm going to let a stranger put their hands in my mouth. However, because I was like the first one, I feel like it is kind of the safer way to go about it. Because I'm the first one in there, I deal with the dental hygienist, I deal with the dentist. That's pretty much it. After that, who knows who's going to be going in and out of there. So I am kind of glad I got it out of the way. Also, the dentist and the dental hygienist, they were like, everyone was super safe. I mean, they were pretty much wearing a scuba suit to keep themselves safe. I'm talking like double masks, the face shield. I'm actually kind of surprised that the cleaning went, it was just a cleaning, but I'm surprised it went well because I don't know how they could have done their job appropriately wearing all that stuff. Like, if you saw what they were wearing, you would more expect my visit to be like, "Oh, Tom, your teeth look great." And I'm just like, that's my kneecap. But it was fine. It was fine. I got through it, and now hopefully next time I have to go, this will all be over. But I'm glad that things are opening back up. But I do have to say, people are being a little too loosey-goosey right about now. Because, for instance, at the store I work at, like, people are just walking into stores now, basically in their birthday suit, just being like, "Phase 2, high five!" Or like, slow down. We're not there yet. We need to take this kind of step by step, you know? Just because, yes, and look, I think it's good to move forward. It's good to do all these things. The protests are good. Yes, we need to do those types of things. However, wearing your mask Abe Lincoln style is not going to help you. Like, people are still, they'll pull down their mask, say something to you, and then put it back up. That's like a quick Wild West style quick draw. Just because you put the gun right back right away does not mean you didn't just shoot someone. And it's kind of ridiculous because doctors will spend hours and hours and hours, or surgeons spend hours and hours just working on people with help. They're talking to their people, and they do it fine. So let's just keep it, you know, I'm not saying we have to completely not do anything, but let's dip our toes in. Let's not do a cannonball, okay? I'm going to have to let this drain a little bit. Look at that color. Now, that is... Now, even though this is a Sri Lankan tea, it's kind of cool because you can without a doubt see the reddish brown. Remember how I said Chinese culture, they refer to black tea as red tea? You really can see the reddish brown in this one. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to do my best to get some of these tea leaves out without making a mess, but you know how I do it. Alright. Can't see any mango pieces, but it's there. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, let's check out this tea. So as previously mentioned, I have about a half pitcher of hot tea. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of top that off a little bit with some cold water. Right? Good. Now it's still pretty hot, so I'm going to let it kind of sit for a second. Let's take a look at this tea. I can see the marigold petals opening up, the tea leaves 100% opening up. Looks really cool, actually. They're smaller tea leaf pieces, but they really like unfurl very nicely and look very very nice. After the infusion, I can almost smell no mango. It's just hint of mango. Don't really smell the marigold petals, but you can smell the very heavy citrusiness and bitterness of the tea. I also wanted to mention, so the reason what makes the tea have that like bitterness and astringency is the yeah, I wrote it down here. The polyphenols in the tea, also known as tannins. So the tannins are what give it that dry and astringency. So I have my mug here. I'm just going to add in some ice cubes. Ice cubes there. Right, time to cap this off. There we go. Now when you pour it over the ice, it's going to cool down pretty quickly. That's a really nice color. It looks really nice. Let's smell this too. Smell it this way. Very nice mango scent coming from this. It's straight mango. If you're a mango fan, I definitely recommend this. Now, fortunately, I don't have to worry about burning myself with this, but you still do want to do the slurping method, so that way you can get a nice taste out of it. It's good. It's good. It is a little citrusy. Again, the tannins in this are a little bit higher, so it's going to have that acidity, but it is very, very tasty. If you're looking for something a little sweeter, too, it's not against the rules to put sweetness in it. That's just my personal preference. You could put sugar, rock sugar, honey, agave, whatever floats your boat. And actually, when you steep it, it's good to just put it right in there with the hot water, so that way it really melts down whatever sugars and stuff you're getting, and it's going to get a really nice sweetness to go with it. It's good. All right. Phase 1 of Hackberry Tea is officially over. I'm going to have I have 2 other teas from them. I'm going to do I think it's a blackberry mojito or some sort of mojito-like tea, and just a plain Chinese green tea, which we haven't done yet. So I'm really excited to do that, and I hope you all decide to check out Hackberry Tea and make some delicious iced tea for the summer. And I still haven't figured out how to end my shows, so we're just gonna cheers to you guys, cheers to summer, here's to wearing masks appropriately. I don't know, have a good one. Take care.